Arrowhead Studios, aka the Helldivers 2 devs, have messed up again. Seems like they're messing up quite a lot recently with balancing shittily in games and nerfing things that they are adding to the game. For example, the new flamethrower war bond that they recently added, but they nerfed the flamethrower before it coming out. So people were like, why use it in that point? But recently, a couple days ago, Arrowhead has actually put out a tweet or slash Reddit post that says, we have a message to the community from our game director regarding the escalation of the Freedom update. I'm assuming is their latest big update. I think that includes the war bond with the flamethrower. So in this Reddit post, they go on to talk about the plan for the next 60 days of what they want to improve, listening to the audience and saying basically that they messed up again. And the community did not take well to this, as you can see in this Reddit post. One guy says, I appreciate that there's more communication with the community, but one thing that strikes me as odd is that the recent issue is, as a previous post mentioned, is like a time loop. This kind of feedback is not exactly new. Railgun counters chargers in a time when anti-tank weapons simply did not nerf railgun, buff anti-tank. Release behemoth charger that basically reverts the charger nerf. The community has to find another way to defeat the behemoth charger. Flamethrower does it relatively well. Flamethrower is nerfed. And this seems like a more recent, this seems like a more common thing for Arrowhead to do. And I remember way back then, one of the devs actually were making fun of the community and saying he was buying into the rage by nerfing things into the ground, and that did not go well. His Reddit account actually got deleted, I believe. His Reddit or Twitter account got deleted, and he is no longer in charge of balancing in the game. And we could see on the Steam charts that ever since the start of the game, which is February of this year, it has been on the constant decline, going all the way to today at 34,000 players, which is a massive drop from the 458,000 player peak that it had at the beginning of the game. They just can't seem to hold the player base that they once had because of their shitty balancing decisions, which I don't really understand. And this is just going off the dome. I don't have a script for this, but I remember way back then when I first started the game, when I used a railgun, and it was fun to counter charges by blowing their fucking legs off and then ravaging their legs down with a machine gun or something like that. It was fun, it was useful, but it wasn't broken. We were still getting swarmed by a billion other bugs and big ass enemies that we had to deal with. It wasn't, the chargers were an annoyance, yes, but it made it more fun to have to deal with them with the railgun that they gave us. But then when they nerfed the railgun and made it kind of hard / impossible to deal with chargers coming out of nowhere and blowing my fucking back out, pause, and launching me to outer space, ragdolling me, it was not fun. That's when I actually started the decline for me on playing the game. And I know that people say like, oh, nerfing and balancing, people are crying about it, but that's, if you think about it, this is a PvE game. The weapons and the stratagems that you use to play the game, and if they're not balanced correctly, that is the entire game. That is the whole game. That is the whole fun of the game. So if I don't have fun with the guns that I thought were fun with, and I have to use these mediocre other guns that they now want to put into the meta, it's not going to be fun for me. And obviously it's not going to be fun for everyone else that's been struggling to stay on the game. So I'm just wondering what Arrowhead said they're going to do. And they said for the next 60 days, they plan to do a whole bunch of stuff. And it says, continue to re-examine our approach to balance. Our intention is that balance should be fun, not balance for the sake of balance. And I really hope that they take that to heart and really listen to the community by just, honestly, my opinion is I was always a fan of buff other things and don't nerf the fun things. If you buff everything else in the game, it just leads to a more widespread meta and everyone can use any gun that they want and it'll work fine. Increase the overall difficulty, sure, and add more stuff, but buff the other guns so we have a chance. We feel like cardboard soldiers right now, honestly, instead of Helldivers. We are fighting for our lives, but we should be fighting these bugs and destroying them the same that they do to us, because it is an overwhelming army of animals and bugs, you feel me? So yeah, they also say that they want to rework chargers, improve game performance, and a whole other stuff that I feel like in the community as well, in the Reddit post, people have said that they've said this countless times and they have not delivered on their promises. So we just gotta see what they do at this point. And I want to note that in this Reddit post, it really opened my eyes, because in the next 60 days, we are not only going to get Black Myth Wukong, but we are going to get Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, whatever it's called. It's a long ass name. But we're going to get that, and people are saying in the next 60 days, we don't know if this game is going to hold us out until Space Marine 2 comes out. We're trying to see in the next 60 days, that might not hold us out, and Space Marine 2 might fill the void that you guys failed to fill, is what I meant to say. So Space Marine 2 is just around the corner. It's coming out September 9th. Obviously, Black Myth Wukong is not really much of a competitor to this game, because it's not the same genre at all. It's a single player, you know, not even PvE, PvP kind of thing. Space Marine 2, on the other hand, is not looking to fill that void, but it's going to fill that void second-handedly just by how the game plays. Not only does it look incredible, but the game has PvE and PvP. So Arrowhead needs to step up and do something, because I don't know what they think is going to happen in the next 60 days. They need to step it up. That's a whole 2 months. And this game hasn't been out for that long. The game has been out for like 6 months. The game has been out for 6 months. So 2 months out of the whole 6 months that the game has been out is a very long time, because the game hasn't been out for that long. So Arrowhead, y'all need to get your shit together, and the community is not happy about this in the slightest. The game is going on a very, very fast decline, as you can see from the chart right here. This is a very, very hard, not very hard, but a very, I don't know the word. It's declining though, you know, at a steady pace. You feel me? And it's gonna keep declining if they don't fix this soon. And hopefully in the next 2 months, they can get some shit sorted out and they're not all just talk. Because I really enjoyed this game when it first came out. Everything was going well, and obviously the community did too. But ever since they been going downhill with these patches and balances, the players have been leaving and not sticking around. Players right now are at 26,000. 24-hour peak is 34,000. This has been steadily going down, and I don't know how much longer they can keep the player base waiting, and by messing up this many times. So yeah, Arrowhead, get your shit together. We want this game to succeed. We don't want games to fail out here. So get your shit together. Make this game the gem that it's supposed to be, that it once was. Stop nerfing. Balance things correctly. Buff instead of nerf. Make a wide meta, and this game will thrive again. It's been Relaya. Peace.